We arrived at John F. Kennedy Airport. We both got off the plane, both carrying very little luggage. We entered the lobby, and while we were thinking about finding a place for breakfast, Anora took a seat and shrank into it as if something was hurting her. "Anora, are you feeling okay? I wanted to have breakfast before I went home."
"I'm home. I won't have to stay up all night doing the same thing every night, or pretending to be happy with someone I don't even like. I won't let them lie to me about a fat wallet or force me to act happy when I'm not. Although I feel a little empty. You were honest with me, that relieves me, and it will make our goodbyes easier. Hey, standing up, why don't you ask for an extension on your visa? Stay for another year. Suddenly my feelings for you will change. We'll stop having sex for fun and do something more boring, like making love. I haven't seen my mother, my father, my brother, and my beloved Rex in almost 3 years. You can take care of yourself now. You have the resources to not depend on anyone." She was silent for a few seconds, stood up, and wiping away her tears, she only managed to say, "I'm hungry. You better come back, or else I'll delete you from my contacts and I won't consider the more than $2,000 my ex owes you an investment. That idiot donut. Always be alert on Skype, and never forget my birthday. You have the same birthday as my mother, that would be impossible." She smiled, erasing her sadness. We walked toward a cafe, where we would plan what to do for the day. We'll be at the offices of LeBron Financial Services Incorporated in an hour. It's located at 11 Medway Avenue, number 2, Congers, number 10920. I've been there. It looks like an ordinary house. It's not a big building, but they'll help you manage your earnings, and mine, by the way, my $2,000. I think it's double that now. If you want, you can invest it in another wild night with me, she said, sipping her coffee. We both laughed. I loved seeing her smile, and she knew it from the way she looked back. A waitress with black hair and a ponytail brought us some chocolate muffins, smiled, and left. I was grateful, though I couldn't help but let Anora notice I'd been paying close attention to her, which turned into a look somewhere between stern and indifferent. She has a nice ass, but mine's the only one you'll ever be able to kiss, the one you've kissed several times. She has a nice ass, but mine's the only one you'll ever be able to kiss, the one you've kissed several times. We're not a couple, Anora, and even if you were, you could see anyone's ass, even Iggy's. In a second, her expression went from serious to almost choking on her coffee due to a fit of laughter that came over her. Iggy. Oh my God, you're going to kill me laughing with that. It infected me slightly. Anora, by now we've realized that we don't like ties. You've been betrayed by your ex-husband, and I'm either too lazy to flirt or have nothing to give a woman. Before you go, I want you to help me with something. I've been thinking about it while we were flying here, even when I was alone in that hotel, alone in my sister's house. I'm going to make money, and like you said, with my own hands, without relying on someone else's wallet. I hope it's not something that puts you at risk, that exposes you to unpleasant people. And OnlyFans, she mentioned nonchalantly. Also, I want to fulfill your dark dream, just you and me, no one else. My clients took advantage of me most of the time, now you and I will do it together. I felt emotion rise from my private parts to my heart. I wanted to refuse, because of my reputation as a high school teacher, but after thinking about it for a few seconds, thinking that the world was a complicated place to be with someone and that I wouldn't have a chance with anyone, much less the waitress. Maybe I would, but after a long process that I can't follow due to lack of time. I've moved your apartment, buddy, she said with a somewhat Machiavellian smile. Come on. You only live once, we won't be so foolish as to let them find out or let you catch something. We'll secure ourselves financially, and it won't be for long, just until you return to your country. After that, I'll just dance and spend it. Invest it, I corrected him. Even if it's $1 million, it's just numbers and they always tend to go to zero. That's why we'll go to that advisor. Otherwise, you'll go back to where you came from. You'll get depressed, you'll go back to smoking and gaining weight, or you'll turn into a mummy if you fall into amphetamines or horrible drugs like heroin and crack. I'll help you, as long as you don't end up like Anna, a girl who's friends with a homeless man and takes amphetamines when she's sick. It'll be a prank, so you can brag about it later to any prude or someone who's only made erotic videos. We'll do it for real, we'll have a blast, and I don't want to do it with anyone else. You fuck really well, and you should take advantage of that talent. In fact, we can do a tutorial on how to fuck properly. No one will give you this opportunity, unless you move to Los Angeles, where if you don't get it up, it's goodbye. Look, I promise, I swear, no one will turn me into a toilet. No one gets turned on, we're professionals. What a lovely phrase, I reminded myself. Not even the technicians can handle it, unless they're robots. After filming, they'll probably run to the bathroom to shake her until she disintegrates, whispering last. I can tell you from experience, after a dance, they always went to the bathroom, even without having anything to drink. After a pause, we got serious. Everything we went through was for a reason. I felt relieved for a few minutes, until she warmed my insides again. I'll treat Lulu, she whispered again, she's my friend, the closest, and I'll pay her well. She really likes you, finishing her cake and winking at me, the one without the bruise.
After a few seconds, I regained my composure. We got up from the table, and the waitress returned. We left her a $100 tip, which made her very happy. As we started to leave, Anora pulled her final prank, which, although the girl didn't understand, caught her attention.
Какая у тебя классная задница.
I understood, and I covered my mouth to keep from laughing.
It's a beautiful day. My friend exclaimed as we left the airport, just as a plane was taking off in the distance dash. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Touch me. Take me to that other place. Show me. I know I'm not a hopeless case. Look at the world in green and blue. I accompanied her by playing the U2 song from my cell phone. We headed to Vera's house, her sister. This is the third time I've taken my things from his house, but there won't be a third time I'll bring them back, I swear. Vera opened the door, more surprised to see me than her sister. Don't tell me you're taking your things again, the girl said heavily. Are you the next victim he's caught? Turning to me. He's a friend, Anora replied, putting on a slightly arrogant face. Forgive me, sis, but the sound of the trains isn't letting me sleep. He lives where they're much quieter. Don't worry, he's not going to be too aggressive with me. He's gay. I figured the last thing was to get rid of her sister, so I didn't feel alluded to, I just hid my laughter. 15 minutes later, Anora came out with 2 black suitcases on rolling stands. I helped her with them, and we headed downstairs. I'll let you know when I have a new house, little sister. I'll treat you to lunch, he told his sister before she closed the door, which didn't even stop her. Apparently, he never took Anora's words seriously. We arrived at my house. Lady Lena was there. I explained that Anora would help me pay the rent, to which she reacted mischievously, elbowing me in the gossip.
Чудесный.
You're a very beautiful girl. Take care of this Lone Ranger. Take him out once in a while, he works too hard. I'll let you two get close, she said, jumping for joy. He obviously loves you. I suppose he lets you participate in every important celebration. Only on his daughter Elena's birthday, at Christmas and New Year's he goes on trips with his whole family, leaving me alone. Like the path I took from what used to be my job to my sister's house. I sat on the couch and remembered how much I wished Anora had been with me on that bitter Christmas of 2018. She sat next to me and made some confessions that left me feeling somewhere between relief and indifference. I'd be a terrible porn actress with you, with others, I'd be worthy of a Best Performance award. After the New Year's party, I had sex with that Russian guy. He was really a kid, and I was just another one of his toys. I had to pretend to enjoy it so he'd feel like a man. With you, that would have been impossible. He'd finish quickly and fall asleep. Before I met you, I could tolerate it, but afterward, I was bored beyond belief. In that elegant hotel in Las Vegas, it was the same. I told him, slow down, my vagina is not your hand. Then he proposed to me. I truly felt an overwhelming joy, happiness, and hope that his performance in bed would improve, and we were headed that way. We were having sex all the time. He was there with his video game console playing War, and when I tried to encourage him to improve his performance, what you know happened. I thought we'd run away together like in a movie, like in Romeo and Juliet, and he just ran like a child after doing something wrong so he wouldn't get punished. You would never have done that, I know, and not because you're old, almost. What he did to you is priceless, he replied, looking into her eyes. You're a girl, a woman. Iggy said, making her laugh. We can't trust girls like you, but that doesn't mean we treat you like garbage. None, but you've earned my trust, and I appreciate what you've done for me, more than you can imagine. Earn mine, using the money you've earned from your work, tedium, pain, and almost losing your life for good and not in. Die, don't worry, I'll listen to you, I won't smoke anymore, I won't drink excessively, I'll avoid drugs, and I'll go running every day with you. I'll take up dancing, and if there's a pole dancing competition, I'll become famous with it, or maybe I'll tell my story to some filmmaker, you, for example. I can write a novel about it, but I need more experience for what you're looking for. Then get ready, friend. If you'll excuse me, I'll go take a bath. Come join me, no strings attached. Wash my hair, and then let me help you get what I told you about Vanya out of your mind. Help me forget, too. I followed her, amidst a mixture of excitement and relief. An hour in the shower was enough for her to completely escape her ex-husband's caresses. It takes time to do this, and apparently I was her therapist. In the same way, she relieved me of the pain of loneliness, and we reconciled for that night. I whispered to her that I preferred a girl like her, who was true to herself and liked to wear very light clothes. She contradicted her friend again. That she preferred a nearly geriatric man who knew how to fuck like a god, a boy without wrinkles, but with a tendency to come early and fall asleep without a care in the world. We laughed as we dressed, both of us doing it together. It was funny. I put her panties on and halfway through, I kissed her buttocks. You do it better than anyone, she mentioned tenderly. Do you love my tattoos? He didn't even notice them, only when I moved them while dancing. I hugged her from behind while I arranged her long hair. She turned around and said something that brought me back to earth. We'll do this whenever we want, but as therapy, not because we're in love. I hate to use that word. I made a fool of myself when I used it as a plea. You won't have to do this anymore. I'll call LeBron Financial Services Incorporated. I'll see if they can help us. I made the call and the secretary of Val answered, the friend who owed me a favor and whom I told Iggy about 2 weeks ago. Val agreed to see us at 3 p.m., which I told Anora. It's almost 10 p.m. What will we do until then? I'm going to get bored. Let's play then, I suggested. I'll turn on my console. My TV is medium-sized, not as big as the one in that mansion, but we can enjoy it. You once told me not to hog the controller. Just another therapy for me, okay?
I turned on my PlayStation 3, I had Shadow of the Colossus on the hard drive. Anora appeared scantily clad, wearing a braless top and tiny blue panties. We both enjoyed the intro and decided to take turns progressing. I would start with Valus, she would continue with Quadratus, but despite the difficulty, I let her unfold. This generated great confidence in her, which turned into a skill that impressed me. It took us 2 hours to complete it. She would close with a flourish by facing off against Malice, a flourish that would take us half an hour to complete, due to her multiple falls from the Colossus's gigantic hands. She took this with serenity and great tolerance for frustration, although at times she was tempted to utter a few rude remarks. At the end, I noticed a bittersweet feeling in her.
Great, you're making me play this game to break my heart. I mean, there was no point in killing those majestic colossi who weren't even evil. She's going to be alone her whole life with that horned baby in that garden. It's a beautiful game, his beautiful music. I would like it for my playlist, but its outcome is very depressing. At least poor Agro survived and will be great company. She's a mare, I corrected her, recalling the scene of her fall, which left my companion silent for several minutes. It reminded me of a puppy I rescued from the street when I was a child. I couldn't adopt it because they wouldn't let me keep it. I felt terrible when I later found out it had been run over. Experiences like that mark you for life, and for the worse. Besides, the first boyfriend I had, the one I wanted, was never a real one. The best love stories end in tragedy. Anora, looking at her and noticing a small tear in her eyes. Like ours, standing up to place the controller on the table. Let's play something else later, staring at me. I'm hungry, let's go to a restaurant to kill time. Let's invite Iggy, bursting out laughing. That would be a good idea, although I don't have his number. I do. I'll call him while I'm getting dressed. Igor came in his grandmother's car. Anora asked to go to the restaurant where we ate the first time. What a coincidence, Igor pointed out. It's the same one where we ate hamburgers while we were looking for Vanya. They're very good, I assure you. Okay, but I'll order them without cheese. I don't think I told you, looking at her, I don't like cheese. No problem. I'm not that fond of cooked vegetables, I prefer salads. Anora broke the silence by recounting everything that happened in Las Vegas, how she almost lost her life for $1 million. How I saved her from nearly overdosing, and how clean she felt getting out of that pool and ready for a new life. Forgive me, Ani, for not being able to accompany you. I was working. I think we all were, Igor apologized, putting on a happy face knowing that Anora could now improve her situation. I was fired. Well, after the incident, I couldn't return to the headquarters. Lulu told me later that it was better if I didn't come back. That gave me the courage to take the risk. Igor couldn't hide his astonishment, mixed with admiration and some concern. I understood that many things pushed you to this. I'd rather not criticize you anymore. You're a true survivor. Or almost suicidal. Or a girl who needed saving, and was screaming for help, and I got it. What will you do with that $1 million, Ani? Increase it, I interrupted, live now, instead of just surviving. Well, Iggy, provoking her to laugh uncontrollably, I'll return to my country in January, she'll need your help. How can I help you? Ignoring Anora's laughter, you have a big heart, and I see decency in you, my friend. She'll need you to bring her back down to earth from time to time. It's not that I distrust her, but she'll need someone consistent like you. Yes, because he'll leave me in January, she added nonchalantly, but I understand. He hasn't seen his family in almost 3 years, but if he doesn't call or text, I'll never forgive him. Okay, Anora, we have plans. Let's make the most of this time. Let's eat and head to LeBron's. I have to work tomorrow. And you should start doing it, only this time you'll be able to control your time. I like that, although, to be honest, I won't miss wiggling around almost naked in front of a man at all. It was so repetitive and stressful that I came to hate it at times. I had to convince each client to pay me to put my ass right in their faces. It's ironic, I enjoyed it more when I did it for free with you, he said to me. These last words didn't faze Iggy. Anora was with him, but at this point, I don't have to envy anyone anymore. I think it's the other way around. We finished, and after paying, which Anora did since she insisted on treating us, we hung around in Igor's car, almost in silence, just listening to the radio. Drive by the Cars was playing, then She Works Hard for the Money by Donna Summer. Finally, 3 p.m. arrived, and we parked in front of LeBron Financial Services Incorporated. We announced ourselves and were allowed inside. Val, the friend who owed me a favor, greeted us warmly and allowed the 3 of us into his office. Miss, Val asked with interest. Anora Makiva Katina, she replied confidently. What do you do? I do, smiling, exotic dancing. I also relieve stress and tension for gentlemen at home. Have you visited the headquarters? It's located at. No, sorry. On some of my getaways, I go to Vivid Cabaret sometimes, and sometimes to the Sapphire Times Square NYC Gentlemen's Club. The lighting is better there, as is the music. I imagine they must treat their girls better there, Anora mentioned with some disappointment, as she would have liked to work there. One of the girls at Sapphire asked me for advice, since she was paid well for pole dancing. She wanted to become independent and teach this art, it's what I enjoy more than private dances. Wow, she reacted with some envy, and I've been working my ass off for a few dollars for 2 damn years and I couldn't put anything together. Damn, if only I'd known before. This is your chance to follow in their footsteps, I mentioned. Yes, Miss McKeeva, with a good amount of capital you can become independent from an unsatisfactory form of work. How much capital do you have? After I divorced my Trelezo husband after 5 weeks, I was paid $10,000, plus a profit of $15,000 for giving him pleasure for a week, plus a ring I sold for $5,000, I made a profit of $30,000, which I would have surely wiped out in a jiffy. I went to Las Vegas and, thanks to the advice of someone who almost tried to kill me, see that black eye? Little by little I increased that capital to almost $1 million. Well, almost, due to some expenses. Dal was amazed at Anora's confession that she owned almost $1 million. Miss McKeeva, your opportunities are truly great for financial advancement. Look, I'll teach you how to invest, since such a large capital must always be in motion. Well, let's do it now. I think I'm in the mood to buy some businesses. Like the one my friend Igor ruined, she said, holding back laughter. Dal gave her advice on profitable business models, what types of expenses to avoid, and high-risk investments, necessary and unnecessary risks. For an hour, Anora absorbed my friend's advice with great attention. He was very good at his job, and every bit of advice was very understandable. My dear friend's eyes lit up, as if a million ideas were beginning to form in her head. She had lived through some very unfortunate experiences. It was time to play the good card she had. We left the place after saying goodbye to Val. We should collect your money, Igor mentioned. Although, on second thought, it would be dangerous. Let's find a way for you to use it without the risk of it being stolen. A checking account would be excellent. No, digital transactions like PayPal would be better. Yes, Anora, you should open an account, and that's it. Well, it's almost 4:15, let's not waste any time. We headed to the 3 banks where we deposited Anora's money, while Christopher Cross's Ride Like a Wind played on the radio, which the 3 of us sang along to loudly. She opened her respective accounts at all 3. It was almost 6 p.m. when Anora suggested something that reminded me of what she'd told me in Las Vegas, something she'd surely already planned. Take me to the headquarters, she suggested, I have business with Jimmy. We arrived. She sighed for a few seconds and entered. I stood near the door, trusting she'd do the right thing. Igor tried to accompany her, but Anora stopped him. Don't worry, Iggy, I have to do this alone. She then looked at me and smiled, as if I knew what she was up to. Ani, one of her friends, a brunette with braided hair, exclaimed in surprise. Then Lulu came over, hugging and kissing her. Diamond misses you so much, the brunette mentioned ironically. You left a good mark with that right hook you threw at him, but, hey, what happened to you? Oh my god, Ani. Lulu worried. Friend, what did they do to you? She touched her face and leaned closer. Friends, they almost knocked me out, and they sent me to.
Святой Петр.
But I survived, and I'm here to do business with Jimmy. I doubt very much, my friend, that I would want to rehire you. Lulu mentioned sarcastically. After the incident with Diamond, he scolded us all. In fact, he threatened that if something like that happened again, he'd fire the person responsible. He almost fired Diamond, I think you almost poked his eye out. I still have his scar, Anora pointed at her temple, where the scratch wounds had almost disappeared. Darling, the brunette mentioned, is in his office, should I go with you to see him? It was a very deep wound, Anora pointed out. It stayed with me because it hurt for hours. I have to see Jimmy. He's not dragging me to get my job back, I want to make him a business proposal. Love, the brunette mentioned, he's in his office. I'll go with you to see him. We will accompany you, Lulu concluded. Oh, who just came back? It was Diamond who entered the scene. Well, who do you think you are by the Spice Girls played in the background. Hey Diamond. Anora replied without being intimidated. Look, I've been through a lot. I don't want conflict, I don't want to fight. In fact, I have to admit you were right, lowering her voice a little, I made fun of you and got my fair share of karma. Forgive me for what I did to you. It's your fault I almost got fired. I showed you that the idiot you married wanted you like a walking vagina he could stick his dick in whenever he wanted. They're all like that. Well, except for the guy who toasted you when he found out you got married. Yeah, and Iggy, Anora admitted silently. I know I've done stupid things my whole life, and I'm tired of it. If you forgive me, I'll be grateful. If not, there's nothing I can do. But I want to forget these fights right now. If you almost got fired, I almost got killed in Las Vegas. Look, she showed him her black eye and chapped lips. Diamond's expression changed to seriousness. I think they had both gone through painful disappointments like many of the girls in their line of work. By now, they were even. Jimmy's in his office, more unbearable than ever, Diamond simply replied, leaving quickly. Anora sighed as if to reassure herself, and her friends joined her to escort her to her former boss's office. Igor and I stayed near the door. Anora had already been through enough misfortune, she didn't deserve another one. I prayed to God that when she left that place, she would do so with what I liked most about her, her smile. And so she did, which surprised Iggy and made me rejoice with a joy that I kept to myself.
Girls! Jimmy was announced, causing those present to gather around him. From now on, Ani is co-owner of headquarters, she's going to be your boss. A wide smile spread across my face. Igor clapped loudly, smiling, while the other girls showed expressions of disbelief followed by shouts of joy. Lulu ordered a bottle of champagne to toast, while Greatest Day by Take That with Callum Scott and Robin Schultz played in the background. This made the girls dance and play with their drinks, even getting wet with them.
Girls, don't worry. I'm paying, announced Anora, clinking glasses with Lulu and the brunette while they danced. Play it again. Yes, play it again, shouted the girls in unison. The Greatest Day played again at full volume, and the song suited Anora's situation perfectly. I looked at her, tears in my eyes, and said to myself, it's time for you to be happy. You've earned it with your own hands. You've suffered enough, Anora. I hope no one ever hurts you or abandons you again. She smiled widely, making her beautiful black hair fly as she danced. I think she was too busy to notice me right now, so I decided to leave.
Igor, you're saying goodbye to her. I have to prepare some classes for tomorrow. She's very busy celebrating, and I don't want to interrupt her. I have to work early tomorrow. Igor just nodded. I walked a few meters to a corner to hail a bus. Along the way, I listened to Incomplete by the Backstreet Boys. Without you, Ani, I can't find rest inside me. Where am I going? Of course, to my country, but truly, no one knows. I know this is going to hurt a lot, so I'll try to continue as if I'd never met you. It's better, even if it hurts us, especially me. For both of us. I took a taxi back home. I prepared my classes, and after watching the towering inferno, I took a cold shower. In bed, trying to fall asleep, I listened to Oldies FM 98.5 Stereo Español. As my eyes began to close, I heard the door open. It had been a great idea to give Anora a spare key. I silently watched her undress and barely get into the shower, apparently having drunk too much. She put on a thin nightgown and threw herself into bed, wrapping her arms around my back.
You should have stayed, the party was unbelievable. Try not to overspend, I replied. For once, just this once, today was my big day. You weren't there, but just as you toasted me, I toasted you, for saving me, for not abandoning me, for treating me like a person. Is it true you faked it with him? Forgive me, it's none of my business. Yes, I didn't fuck deliciously like you do. I even lied to him about my age. I told him I was 23. When you know I'm 20. I'm now a 20-year-old businesswoman. Get an assistant, you're going to need one. One of the girls is 26 years old and studied business administration. I'll give her that position. I'm going to do some research on other nightclubs, what they do better than headquarters, and I'll do a lot of renovations. I'll treat the girls with more dignity, and maybe I'll hire Iggy, laughs at the end. You can do themed things. Game of Thrones will soon premiere its final season. You can pay tribute to her. After what you've been through, you're a cross between Arya and Dany. That would be a great idea, buddy. On Halloween, St. Patrick's Day, Christmas, wow. I'm going to put up more dance bars. Even movie themes like Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. But, internally, I don't want to get sued for copyright. Even Disney princesses. Yes, even Disney princesses, and from other franchises. Lulu would make an excellent Pocahontas, or a more than excellent Esmeralda, but not a tragic one, she is not blonde happily. Or Chell, you know, more fantasies to fulfill. And more money, partner. You know, I also want to buy that candy store in Coney Island where Crystal, a friend of my ex-husband, works.
It would be part of your revenge. Yes, if he ever comes back and wants to buy some candy for the poor fool he'd have as a girlfriend, he'd be in for a big surprise to find out who the owner is now. Don't buy it outright, just make an investment in the place. Yes, I like the owner, plus I'll pay him for the damages he forced Igor to do. Tomorrow I'll look for a house, bigger, but not too ostentatious, only then can we develop that project we agreed on. You know what I mean. Yes, but let's wear masks. You'll use them, they'll be educational videos, love, even your students will be able to watch them. Like that movie about that blonde girl who did porn. I used to watch the show starring her when I was a teenager, Popular Mechanics for Kids. What a change. And how ironic, because there was an episode where they talked about digestion. She ran away scared. I learned about her when I was 8 years old from a collection of pirated DVDs at a friend's house who was a Jay Baruchel fan. Yes, me too, Alicia Cuthbert, how time has flown, we laughed together. We'll do it with themes, that'll satisfy some fantasies. We won't do anything grotesque. Of course not. We should sleep, Anora. We'll talk tomorrow. I have to get up early. Yes, please wake me up. When the earthquake passes, I joked. My alarm went off at 5 a.m. I got ready to go for a run, but I had a hard time getting Anora to get up. Wake up, she said. If you want to be a champion on the pole, you must exercise those beautiful legs. She did so reluctantly, but with difficulty, she managed to put on some light, somewhat old clothes she had. She tied her hair in a ponytail and put on some faded sneakers that she apparently was afraid to throw away. It was very cold, but I suddenly noticed a great determination in her, which made me even happier for her. We ran until 6:15. Since I was in a hurry, I had to get in the shower first, which she didn't take seriously, as she got in even though I preferred cold water. Don't get excited, honey, there's no time for a morning person, you have to work, me too, at least wash my hair, okay? We got out of the shower, I got dressed, and so did she. Or rather, we helped each other. Anora fixed my tie, and I helped her with her jeans and ankle boots. Well, see you in the afternoon, Anora. If you want, we can meet somewhere for lunch. Okay, but you're buying this time. The day passed quickly. Anora called me first. I'll wait for you at Shanghai 21, near the financial district. I changed my mind. I'm paying. I arrived on my motorcycle at that restaurant, a simple but elegant one. Anora called me from a table by the window. I sat next to her and we both ordered shrimp and noodles. And to drink, we had 2 ice-cold bottles of Tsingtao beer, despite the weather, which forced us to bundle up. How was your day? I really hope you haven't moved yet. I'm sorry to tell you, my friend, that I'm going to leave you. After a moment of silence, he chuckled dash. I got an apartment, one of my own and very affordable. Well, you said it yourself, I should take it slow, avoid unnecessary expenses. It's small, but very nice, it'll be perfect for, it's very clean and it's also closer to work. For now, I won't be dancing braless or in a G-string anymore, but I'll do something more fun, I'll take pole dancing classes and specialize in it, like circus art. With the improvements I'll make to the club, it'll attract more customers. There are people looking for, let's say, something more artistic and not just a display of female flesh. I'm going to do a market study by visiting those clubs and studying what they have and what they don't, so we can improve on that. This is going to be fun. Ah. And I became a partner in that candy store, I bought them new shelves and displays to make up for what Iggy destroyed. She laughed helplessly, but restrained herself so as not to seem rude. I'm thinking about using YouTube to reach more people, social networks like TikTok to advertise, monetize, and even an OnlyFans for all the girls. Those who contribute to OnlyFans are mostly unreliable. Even worse than those who go to nightclubs. Don't worry, I'll figure out how to measure those risks. I have to maintain this club, make it grow, modernize it, and take it into the future. In a few months, we'll change decades, and we shouldn't be left behind. Themes, Anora, themes. You have to reach a larger audience. Have you seen the movie Flashdance? Are you kidding? I love it. It's one of my favorite movies. I've thought about it for dance numbers, including splashing water while lying on a chair and then continuing to dance. I love that part. Reduce the tap dancing a bit, increase the pole dancing more, that will give the club more class. I'm thinking about hiring male strippers for the girls one day, like in Magic Mike. Or the full Monty, I joked. Why not? I want to make this very flexible, so we can save marriages. Husbands can come and delight their wives. Like I told you, I can even teach wives how to pole dance. I've never made it to a first anniversary as a wife, I'm a little jealous, but it's getting over. Let's toast to your great future, Anora. Don't forget that you're also my partner, and without you, I would have been lost. Cheers, then. We both toasted with Tsingtao beer. Once again, aside from the good food, I enjoyed watching her eat, although I no longer had to worry about her lacking food, a home, a source of income, friends, and peace. Weeks passed, and after we had to mourn the deaths of Tony Stark, Natasha Romanoff, and the terrible ending of Game of Thrones, Anora called me for our audiovisual project. I hope you're in good shape and didn't jerk off too hard. We'll do everything we did at that hotel in this city and the one in Las Vegas. Don't worry, this place isn't very crowded, you'll be able to make me scream all you want, I can't fake it with you. I have a feeling I've managed to give you a boner, keep it that way, buddy. I arrived at her apartment, which was larger than mine. I was a little envious, but it vanished when I saw her dressed like a schoolgirl, with glitter in her eyes and red ribbons in her hair. It's the same one I wore to a dance at my ex-husband's house. We'll do a parody of it. Please don't make me behave like him. No, laughing softly. Be yourself. Let's show you how to fuck, properly. Take the camera and focus, you know where. We entered her bedroom. She asked me to film her while she danced, zooming in wherever she indicated. She took off her clothes, and I kept filming, technically in a sequence shot. And when the moment of greatest intensity arrived, she made sure to film it with more than one camera placed in various directions. From different angles, she whispered, the action will look more fluid. 2 hours later, we had finished our audiovisual project. We paused constantly to avoid burnout and checked our memory for full memory, but without much planning so as not to detract from the naturalness of our performance. We lay down naked on his bed, drenched in sweat. I don't want to talk about Vanya again, it's the last time I'll mention it. Although it's a curse that you have to leave. I could do this every day. How long will we do this? How many videos will we make? Not that I'm uncomfortable, but I'll only do it with you, we'll make enough, next time Lulu will help us. I know you'd love that. She confessed to me that she would have liked to do a dance for you to cheer you up, But you were too depressed and went off singing something about how you were better off without a woman. I acted sincerely, I replied, not expecting any understanding from her, and I did it with you the next few days. So that means you're using me to appease Mother Nature. You accepted my proposal because you're bored with using your hand. You'll only get honesty from me, Anora, there will be no lies between us. You told me you don't love me, and you're doing this in therapy. She sighed for a few seconds, as if accepting the situation and his old proposal. Well, we're even, buddy. I think a serious relationship would end up boring us. Chains, pleasing parents and other relatives, being socially accepted, ugh. 69 ways to have fun, I added, laughing quietly and looking at her. My favorite position. Next time we'll get a better look at it. We couldn't get any close-ups. Let's sleep a little, then we'll take a shower together, and you can go back to your place, although I'm going to miss sleeping with you. Me too, but we should get used to it. You're right, hugging me dash, I'm starting to hate it. You know, that thing about you having to leave. My disgusting ex-husband hated doing 69, he didn't even want to do it to me on my wedding night. He told me he was afraid I'd kill the passion if I farted. Can you believe it? I'm not a streetwalker, I'm a luxury. I made strenuous efforts not to burst out laughing, but I was overcome by her comment, and in the end we ended up laughing in unison.
I put on Billy Joel's Just the Way You Are to get to sleep. She slept like a baby as I enjoyed stroking her mane, dark as the approaching night. It's one of the things I'll miss most about this great city. Sailing by Christopher Cross played at the end. I got up, took a shower using her shower without her permission. I got dressed, and played the song again for the third time, while I gloated in watching her sleep. I then put on I Don't Want to Live Without You by Foreigner, hoping she'd wake up so I could say goodbye. Which didn't happen until I played Yo Que Vivo Sin Ti by Luis Miguel, in my native language.
Are you leaving already? She asked, wiping her sleepy eyes. You should have waited for me to shower together. You know I like it when you wash my hair. Forgive me, Anora, I have to go. You know I have to work tomorrow. And since I'm now one of the bosses, I can take advantage of her luxury of going in the morning and sleeping at night. But the girls are counting on me, and I have to take better care of them than Jimmy. Wait for me, I'll shower, we'll go get something to eat, and please come with me to the club. You brought your motorcycle. Okay, I'll wait for you.
I'll be leaving in a few months, but it seems I'll never be able to separate myself from her. It will be very painful for both of us, but the important thing is that the pain she's in won't be financial. We went to get something light to eat, and then I took her to the headquarters. It was interesting to see her dressed very differently than before. She wanted to stay with her colleagues, to continue dancing, but not rubbing shoulders with clients or stealing them from a colleague, just to dance on the pole in an artistic manner. That's why she made many changes at the club, after researching other clubs. Anora trained every day, practiced a lot, and in fact, she took better care of her health now, and her physique had improved to the point where she looked like an athlete. The day Anora was supposed to put on a better pole dancing performance arrived. She appeared, she was the boss, but she also wanted to contribute beyond just giving orders. Her outfit was a kimono that reminded me of my Shiranui Sexiest, and she wore geisha-like makeup, which gradually shed as she danced to the rhythm of Be Kind by Marshmello and Halsey. Many of the customers watched her, enchanted, almost hypnotized, as they threw money freely. It was wonderful to see her perched on the bar, and then slither like a snake, waving a multicolored Japanese fan. The girls continued dancing in skimpy outfits, each wearing colorful, fantasy-themed outfits. I was amazed, I felt happy for her, proud of her. You're going to be okay, Anora, you're going to get better. The days passed, the weeks and months passed, until October arrived. A month ago, Anora, we had made another video that always ended with the two of us in bed asleep after laughing out loud. Only this time, Lulu was acting as the cameraman. At the next session, my partner asked her to join the scene, alternating between camera work and then a threesome that left us exhausted but satisfied. My 42nd birthday arrived. My family called me, led by my mom, before work. Anora called at noon, mentioning she had a surprise for me.
I have a gift that will make you want to come back to New York, honey. Come to my house. I arrived at her house and was surprised to find 4 girls there, including Lulu and my hostess. I turned around and Diamond was coming out of the bathroom wearing only a tiny thing and gold glitter on her eyes. I think you've overcome your differences with the Diamond girl. I'm glad, I mentioned to my housewife friend with subtle irony. I would hate her again if she had stepped aside. She approached slowly. I heard you give the best cunnilingus and analingus in all of New York. Honey, your tongue is going to be very busy this afternoon, added an Asian-looking girl. And your dick too, added the brunette with dreadlocks, laughing afterward. I remembered them both, and with them I made a toast to my hostess's truncated happiness. Happy birthday, darling, Anora greeted me, approaching me and giving me a deep French kiss. The other girls did the same, the last being Diamond, who had sipped some champagne and made me drink it from her mouth. Relax, Diamond, Lulu said. We'll toast later. He's going to drink from us. But like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street, Anora added laughing, but it won't be cocaine, don't worry. The room filled with everyone's laughter. Anora went to her small kitchen and brought out one of her first purchases, earned with her well-earned earnings, a beautiful Tiffany and Company crystal set. We filled her beautiful crystal set and made a toast to me. To a great friend, who filled my stomach when I wasn't getting paid, who remembered my birthday without really knowing me, even more than my family, who treated me like a woman and not a meat doll, her voice cracking a little this time, who had a terrible time while I pretended to enjoy myself with a huge jerk. I'm returning the insult, Vanya. Who was with me when I almost lost my life and protected me even from myself. The one who gave me good advice and for whom I no longer have to take that horrible train or endure the noise they make at my sister's house. Because of you, my friend, I'm starting to heal, and today I'm going to make it up to you, although I don't think it's enough. Cheers, Diamond said. The other girls followed her, including me. It was 3 hours that left my tongue deeply numb and my prostate almost ready to explode. They drank more than I did, leaving me to do all the work. Drenched in sweat, the combined sweat plus the squirt of 5 women, we decided to rest. Their naked bodies glistened in the afternoon light. Anora and I, as always, ended up next to each other. We fell asleep very late into the night, breathing in their scent and that of the other girls. Besides hearing them breathe, I was glad none of them snored. I left Anora in bed and quietly went to shower. It was almost 10 o'clock at night. While I was getting dressed, she had already woken up. Sleep dimmed, she sat up in bed. We had a blast today, didn't we? I just nodded. So you never forget New York and that you had the best birthday of your life here. You didn't eat cake, but you did eat 5 beautiful asses, including mine, although you've eaten mine more so far. I hope I've given you quality and quantity in equal measure. You made me forget the dullness of my old job, although I can't get out of my mind that you'll be leaving in almost 3 months. I really hate it, she said, holding back tears at the end. I hugged her tightly, and she reciprocated. Maybe this was too much. Never in my life had a girl done this for me. Never had I cried because she wouldn't see me again. I must go, Anora. I believe you are worthy of your name. I have seen the light and I have regained my honor. And you will rule in my heart forever, and you will have a long life. So take advantage of that long life and don't stay in Peru too long. But don't turn yourself into some kind of smooth manipulator, smooth operator, or smooth seducer just because of this experience we gave you. Don't go coast to coast from Los Angeles to Chicago. And just at that moment, the song Anora was referring to was heard on one of the girls' cell phones as an alarm clock. I love that song. Sade is beautiful. I plan to use it for a dance. It's a truly exquisite song. Friend, I confess that I don't have the slightest bit of seduction chops. My brother is the true Adonis of my family. I recommend you no longer be like the Hall & Oates song says. I think I'm cured of that. I've tried many flavors, and they're all cheap tuna, even you know who. You turned out to be super good caviar in a simple and humble package. We both laughed. You can sell your life story, make it into a movie, although I wouldn't be qualified to write it, not yet, much less direct it. I've been watching a series, Better Things, on FX. The lead actress looks a lot like me. In fact, she's a pretty Jewish girl like me. She's even my size, has a beautiful nose, and long hair full of darkness and mystery. And to my surprise, she has the same birthday as me and your mom. What a coincidence. That girl is wow. I think she's like God, or who is like God. I've trusted him again. I've seen him in you. Without you, I'd be dead or begging for a fix. Please be well, take care of your girls, treat them with respect. By the way, I think they cost you a lot. You can take my shares in your company to pay them. You don't owe them anything, not even Diamond. You did something great for them, and they knew how to reciprocate, and they didn't do it out of pity. Because of how you treated me, despite not being such a good person, you helped me and saved me. You earned their affection. We still have time, babe. Let's make the most of it. Don't forget that what matters most to me is that you're okay. She looked at me intently, then hugged me goodbye. I opened the door, and we shared a see-you-later smile. She closed the door, and all I could hear was, "Wake up, sleepyheads. Take a shower and go to sleep at home. We have to prepare a great show tomorrow, something classic French style. We have some refined clients waiting for us."
I put on More Than That by the Backstreet Boys and then a song I wish I had dedicated to someone when I was 12, Baby, I Believe in You by New Kids on the Block. I carried on with my days until the end of the month. Anora had prepared a great Tim Burton-style theme for the new headquarters. It was very well received, generating a lot of profit and making her former boss, now partner, jump for joy. I loved seeing my friend smile when Jimmy apologized for having disrespected her in the past, one of many sincere, genuine, and not out of obligation smiles, although she did tell me once that the smiles directed at me were the most comfortable, because she didn't have to fake them. November was marked on the calendar. A major pole dancing competition was being announced, sponsored by Foxy Fitness and Pole Training Studios. I witnessed my friend's preparation, who had even paid for a trainer, in addition to a significant physical change. She went from being the skinny, fragile, and innocent girl who smoked and vaped a lot of almost 2 years ago to a more self-assured woman with unwavering confidence. The night before the big day, she called me to make some confessions.
Hey Pata, carnal, friend, Mampiri, very calm and serene. Her voice said it all. I know it's late, but I wanted to let out a little steam. Remember a month ago? Diamond got revenge on me by asking for my destruction, and she succeeded, but even though she put up more resistance, she was still finished. As for Lulu, what can I say about her? She apologized because she wanted to steal you away, even from the beginning. We both laughed and talked for a long time about my birthday present. You had to change your sheets, my friend. Luckily, we didn't set them on fire or tear them. You must feel lucky. You already know the taste of different types of leather, and I'm glad you didn't get bored of the Russian flavor. And speaking of Russian, all 5 of us were old enough to make it for you. Let's say, Anora, I even tasted your soul too, in fact, from the moment I saw you. You have some of the most beautiful names a woman could have, and you're extraordinary. Forgive me, it sounds like a cliched soap opera phrase, cliché or not, the phrase came naturally to me. That's why many would speak very badly of them, especially Anora, but she was much better than all those hypocritical voices. I confess that I would have been able to go to university. It just so happens that I would have hated a conventional job and a lot of theory. I wanted to get straight to the point, to dance from day one, but my very traditional family thought pole dancing was for sluts, except for my grandmother. To tell the truth, my family isn't entirely Jewish. My grandmother was Jewish, as was my grandfather and my mother. My father was Protestant. My mother partially converted by choice, since she didn't give up her customs because my father allowed them, even encouraged them. He's not a bad man, just very strict. That's why I left home. My sister Vera took me in, and I'll be honest, I have a tendency to be hypergamous and go for easy money. That's why you didn't know me as a waitress in a restaurant or working in a grocery store. I've only slept with 8 men for money, 4 of them were apparently married who later opted for their wives. Then you came, Vanya, and the one who almost sent me to St. Peter, but whose skills broke the chains of my routine. Although it was you who did much more. Well, before him, Igor. Of all of them, 2 of the married guys, you and Iggy, treated me with respect, especially you and Iggy. To be honest, I hate lap dancing. I had to do it out of obligation, since Jimmy thinks it brings in more money, but it's repetitive and I got bored. If I didn't apply for jobs at other clubs, it's because the positions were already taken. When I left headquarters, I didn't go to those places to avoid the humiliation of rejection. I would have liked you to meet my grandmother. She was the only person who listened to me and accepted me as I was. Because of her, I'm proud of my Russian and Jewish roots. I'm half Christian, you could say, and somewhat Christian, although I became an atheist until you came along like my guardian angel and saved me. Come to think of it, I have more than one. Okay, buddy, see you tomorrow at Foxy Fitness for the contest. I was inspired by the game we were playing on your brand new PlayStation 4. I took a picture of you when you beat the Queen. I have to hang up, but don't play that song. Bye. Temblando Hombres G. Relax, friend. We'll all be there supporting you. I played the song anyway, but only I heard it. Dawn finally broke. I went to my friend's house. It was Saturday. The competition would be at night. She was meditating. Apparently, after so many unfortunate experiences, she had managed to adapt to highly stressful situations while remaining calm. Still doing so, she spoke to me gently. I don't mind winning, dear friend. I love doing this. It was my favorite part when I was just another girl at headquarters. At least I got to take off my clothes with class and style. With elegance and refinement. I didn't do it often, and that's why it was my favorite part. I love dancing, my friend. It's my life and what I exist for. All I could think of was to smile at her. I wanted to hug and kiss her, but with my departure from the country so close, it was best to distance ourselves. She wouldn't need me soon. I had what I needed a month ago. A storm of lust, a riot of shamelessness. It was extremely fun. You're a survivor, Ani. Anora, have fun. Even Lady Lena will be there, along with her children, and guess what? Iggy and his colleagues will be there, even Mr. Toros. Iggy told me that, despite being a religious man, he wouldn't deprive himself of a high-quality show. He's come to admire you. He mentioned that you were that girl of uncertain destiny who was rejected like a used and broken toy, and that now you've risen with great dignity. Anora smiled, got out of bed, and went to take a shower. She didn't want to run or go to the gym today, just focus. More than winning the competition, putting on a great show. She came out of the shower in a towel, and as was her custom, she took it off in front of me, in addition to dressing very comfortably and casually. Dude, I'm really hungry. How about before rehearsing, we finish that game with the big bald and bearded guy? Sure, friend. Kratos is a father now. We're going to take his beloved's ashes to Jotunheim. From your beloved. What's her name? Faye? Like a 90s singer who was another of your great teenage loves. Faye, I replied, spelling out her name. A beautiful redhead played by another beautiful blonde. I think I'll dye it like that. No, not a chance. You'd love me less then. I'm a Russian girl with jet black hair. After breakfast, we went to my house. I understand Freya. A mother would do the same, even if she tried to kill her. Although I hope that never happens to me.
It was almost 6:45, and Anora was at the club preparing her costume. Only 2 people had seen it, since part of her show was the surprise. Since I couldn't see her, I went ahead to the Foxy Fitness and Pole Training Studios. The competition started at 8. I positioned myself in a spot where I couldn't spot anyone I knew, even though I knew beforehand that many acquaintances would be coming to the competition. All the performances were sensational. The participants displayed great mastery of this art. I trusted Anora. She had extensive experience and had trained intensively since March. I was anxious for her, but the great calmness and determination she showed me that morning reassured me briefly. However, the competition was quite tight and anyone could win. It was then that a sort of angel appeared on stage with silver and gold wings, very much in the style of Sigrun, the queen of the Valkyries, plus a beautiful silver helmet and a shining mask. It was her, I sensed it, in fact, I knew it. I don't think many of these girls had played the last game of the Ghost of Sparta. Suddenly, the song, Alive, by Empire of the Sun enveloped the entire club. Anora made a brief dance while she played with her wings and removed some of her armor. She climbed onto the pole and amazed us with her performance, reminiscent of a giant bird flying around a very thin steel tower. Anora followed, this time with Shot in the Dark by Within Temptation as accompaniment. It was truly orgasmic to watch her shed her wing feathers so spectacularly while the guitar solo played. Anora finished her performance in a tiny metallic bikini, but still wearing a tuft of multicolored feathers. She gave another demonstration of her talent to the tune of What Have I Done to Deserve This, by Pet Shop Boys and Dusty Springfield. When she finished, she retreated to the contestants' dressing room. I wanted to go congratulate her, but the crowd prevented me, and the last contestant was about to come on stage. She was a Ukrainian girl with a rather imposing physique who gave us a rather impressive performance with earrings. 20 minutes later, the judges declared the winner to be that Ukrainian girl with ponytailed blonde hair. Anora didn't place. Second place went to a Japanese contestant, and third place went to a brunette from the host club. I went to the girls' dressing room, and my friend wasn't there. I tried to call her, but apparently she didn't have her cell phone with her. I don't think you're disappointed, friend. You told me that winning didn't matter to you. Knowing you now and seeing your dedication, I don't think this defeat will stop you. I arrived at the headquarters and was told she had gone to her house, she needed to rest. I took my motorcycle and drove to where she was. When I knocked on the door, she took a while to open it. She smiled at me and invited me in. You were great, friend, was all I naturally managed to get out. I was impressed by your performance as Sigrid. A very thin and short Valkyrie. But beautiful, you won for me.
Like Rocky in his last movie, he didn't want to win, just proved to himself that he could. I did it. Like Goku, he never won a tournament as a kid. Next time there will be more Valkyries, and you can keep your trophies. I just wanted to have fun. Like I told you, dancing is my life. If you want to rest, I'll go and don't even think about it. I know it's already very late, and tomorrow is Sunday, and I don't want to be alone. I know that after you got married, you wanted to spend your honeymoon at Cinderella Castle. You know, when I was 14 and after watching Big, I wanted to get our first kiss dancing, like in Beauty and the Beast. I've only told you. We're both broken, friend. Why don't we help each other pick up the pieces? I gave you a dance, now you owe me one. One more fantasy. I have the Celine Dion and Peabo Bryson song on my phone, if you'll allow me this bit. She smiled broadly. She stood up. She still had part of her pageant outfit on. I have a special playlist for that. I put it together with the naive idea that I'd use it to dance with someone special I might meet in this country. A teenage idea. Well, that someone special came true. It came late, but it came, she replied, laughing mischievously. You didn't have a honeymoon like Cinderella, but you'll dance like Belle. It wasn't what you dreamed of, but I want to make it happen. I'm not attractive, as you've noticed. I'm closer to the beast. At least you're not Phoebus from Victor Hugo's novel, or Gaston, or whatever my damn it is, I'm supposed to forget. Let's give ourselves a little hope, friend, since reality is usually boring. Yeah, and it sucks. Let's do this in private, so we don't make fools of ourselves in front of others.
I danced with my friend, feeling like a teenager again, and she was becoming a Disney princess, if only for this occasion, and not a piece of skin for sale to the highest bidder. She was even more than that, she was a warrior princess. My playlist continued until very late into the early hours of Sunday morning. After the aforementioned song, it was followed by You Are So Beautiful, by Joe Cocker, with Heaven on Our Side, by Foreigner, It Might Be You, by Stephen Bishop, Saving All My Love for You, by Whitney Houston, and ending with If Ever You're in My Arms Again, by Peabo Bryson. You're beautiful, Anora, I blurted out spontaneously. I hope someone male has ever told you that, someone who wasn't your father or another member of your family.
everyone, to tell you the truth. I made sure I was with someone who would tell me that, who would show me some appreciation since I was a very expensive commodity. But you told me without knowing what I was doing, and being disheveled and somewhat dirty, not at all dressed up like I was for my clients. I take your words with more truth. I'd never tire of telling you that, not just for your body, but for your soul too. Then, my friend, never stop telling me that. I need to know that I'm still that.
I kissed her forehead, hugged her, and we continued spinning together until Lorenzo Santamaria's Bailemos played. As Journeys, The Eyes of a Woman ended, she fell asleep in my arms. I carried her to her bed and stayed there, contemplating her for a while. The first time I saw you, something changed inside me. I knew I wanted to hug you with all my might. You would have accused me of being a rapist once upon a time. We were honest with each other. Look, deep down, loneliness has become a habit, and I'll soon leave where my chances of being with anyone will almost vanish. Thinking about it carefully, I think I don't deserve someone like you, and you deserve someone better than me. But if you gave me the chance to love you, I couldn't look at anyone else, not even if she were as voluptuous as Bryce Dallas Howard, because as I said, I saw inside you, I saw your soul. I would love you for the rest of my life if I ever had that chance, but we know that's not possible.
Did you say something? She asked without opening her eyes. No, rest, Anora, good night. I kissed her forehead, letting a tear fall onto her delicate skin. Good night, she replied, and she fell deeply asleep. I decided not to leave her alone, so I settled down on the couch in her living room. I listened to music on the internet radio until very late, listening to stations from my country to familiarize myself. I closed my eyes. When I woke up early Sunday morning, she was by my side, spreading her beautiful hair on my chest, as if she didn't want to let me get away. Since it was a lazy day, I went back to sleep. I woke up again. It was 7 o'clock. The door opened and Anora came in with several packages. I got up to help her carry them to her kitchen. Please stay with me all day or until tonight. I'll cook for you. I'll break in my grill by preparing a shashlik. I've done a lot of research on how to make it, and I'll prepare it with 3 types of meat. Let me take your shower, I'll bathe, and I'll come back and help you. I'll make a Russian salad. I'll go buy what you need to make it. Don't worry, I brought you what you need for that. I've researched the food of your country and what it relates to mine, well, where my grandparents come from. My grandmother wanted to be a dancer, a ballet dancer, so she always supported me in the madness of following in her footsteps. At least you weren't alone in that. I, on the other hand, have always been alone in my madness. Well, my friend, you're not alone anymore. I stayed with her all morning. We enjoyed a good lunch. Anora loved the Russian salad, which I didn't add mayonnaise to. Apparently, we both hated it. We showed each other the gifts we gave each other on our recent birthdays. For her 20th birthday, in addition the Luis Miguel's ballad, That Girl, and the salsa version we danced to by Jerry Rivera, a beautiful steel crucifix, in honor of her will and desire to fight. Because of her Jewish roots, she wore a gold Star of David, which she said was for my heart. In the afternoon, we went out on my motorcycle for a ride. That evening, around 8:30, we had to say goodbye for obvious reasons. We had to work the next day. She now had more responsibilities, besides an appointment at the gym, which she always took to me.